Hello, good morning, and welcome back. So, going back from my previous video, today we're going to be talking about what a supervillain is and what villains are too. To start, we're going to talk about villains. A villain usually starts its journey as a vessel or soul, devoid of love and affection and admiration and importance. I believe these people are usually brought up never knowing what true love and importance feels like. Hence why is probably the reason that they don't know better. These people are the perfect energy vessels to supervillains to become what psychologists call flying monkeys. A flying monkey is a tool to the supervillain to which that these villains gain this importance and affection. They act out on the supervillain's behalf if the supervillain's plans ever go awry. Supervillains never take accountability, and they only ever lust for power. When our heroes or superheroes see these supervillains for who they truly are, the supervillain becomes quickly aware of the realization, and they become very paranoid. So paranoid, in fact, that they'll use their own villains in the front lines to take the hits. These flying monkeys. Sorry. No, would you call this love and affection? I wouldn't. I used to believe it was, but I guess I was confused. As I said in my previous video, supervillains have the most to hide. The most. And villains rarely become supervillains because they do not know what it takes to harness that power. A supervillain will never explain to the villain what it takes to become them, as they're only tools used by the supervillain to keep them in power. A supervillain is the most charming person you will ever meet. The most charming person. They will wear all sorts of masks, and they can be whatever person you need them to be in any given moment. If a supervillain deems you a threat, they'll try to use your own thoughts against you and wage a war in your head. I will say this, though. You need to be careful of who you admire and who you look up to and who you respect. Which brings me to my next point. Supervillains will or might try to present themselves as being heroes or even superheroes. Some might be even quite talented at this skill. I was charmed for years by a supervillain disguised as a superhero. I kept ignoring my gut, though, until one day that feeling of my energy loss was too much to bear. I had to stop ignoring that feeling because every day I would feel completely drained. And I mean, I had an idea, but I didn't put my finger on it. Like, I just wasn't being very conscious of it. I wasn't being very aware of it. And the engagements with my supervillain, they would always leave me empty inside, with no pure appreciation. Like, no pure appreciation. Like, you can tell when you're being truly appreciated, and you can tell when it's just a game. Like, there's something up, right? But I have a confession, though. I knew exactly how I knew exactly how my supervillain operated, and I chose still to ignore my gut in hopes that I would become someone, right? Because, like in my last video, I said years ago, I didn't know where I was going, who I was. I didn't feel like anybody, and I wanted to be someone, you know. So I followed his exact path. Maybe not his exact path, but his template. I followed it. And a few years back, I did just that, and it ended up backfiring on me. I was really good at it too. I mirrored a lot of his own personality and his actions. People believed me until they didn't. He was gone for most of the time during that this opportunity was present. His his right hand villain or flying monkey was not that loyal to him, and it ended up having he ended up having to leave our situation due to his lack of intelligence. When the supervillain came back, though, that's when I lost all my power, and it happened so quickly, like in a flash. It was quite surprising. The villains, I thought, or so I say villains now, but I thought they were heroes. But the villains I thought who had my back turned on me, and it got ugly really quick. Like I said in my previous video, villains will use your triggers, your relationships, your own thoughts, emotions against you, and they were doing just that that quickly. This is when I discovered that all that admiration was just a thin veil to a bigger picture. It was just a game to them, and there was nothing at all to sustain it except the people who controlled that game. I will touch more on this in another video, though. My superhero, my super villain story that I thought was a superhero story. It's quite interesting. But now to the point. What are supervillains? Psychologists would call these people psychopaths, sociopaths, or maybe even narcissists. But I don't think a narcissist is smart enough to hold this power. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Tell me, though, in the comments below, do you ever feel drained from an interaction with somebody who is charming, someone that you admire and respect? That image, and you just can't put your finger on it? You might be dealing with a supervillain, or a supervillain disguised as a superhero, like which was my case. Please let me know in the comments below. I would honestly love to collaborate with people and grow as a collective. Really, I would. But yeah, us superheroes need to rise up before this is too late. I just don't want this to become reality. So I would love to live in a world of more awareness. I really would. Again, love is scarce, hate is abundant. I'll see you in the next one.